Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Bruce and Josh Show. This week we're going to talk about what the flip is going on with flipping houses. You had a lot of coffee. You're getting a little jittery.
Maybe getting a little jittery. Yeah, maybe a little jittery. From a long time, flipping houses has been a pretty stable, consistent thing to be able to turn around an older property that needs freshening up, that buyers into some type of thing that buyers are more ready, willing, and able to purchase. Because we all know buyers prefer to purchase move-in ready type properties, not something that's a project.
Here are some of the reasons, we've run into flipping getting harder and harder. And mainly it's because of cost of materials, cost of the acquisition of the house, time it takes to produce these materials because of, recent changes in the market.
And as we all know, time is definitely money. So let's start with cost of acquisition. I don't think it's any secret to anybody at this point that the pricing of houses themselves has increased significantly. And it's not just the beautiful, perfect houses that have increased in price. A rising tide raises all ships.
It's like I knew that one was coming out.
And so even the ones that are prime for flipping, the ones that have deficiencies in them that definitely need a lot of love and attention, those houses have even risen in value in their as-is condition,
right? Simply
because everything across the board in the market has gone higher.
Absolutely. So, and not only the cost of houses has risen, the cost of material to flip the house has risen. So the cost to get sheets of plywood, whereas a couple of years ago, one sheet of plywood was roughly around $20-ish. We saw them raise in mid 2021 up to something crazy like $80. So that's a drastic increase, and that's pretty much across the board with all of the materials that you're going to need to flip a house. Tile, carpet, paint, drywall, anything like that. All the cost of materials have really risen in the past few years.
But it's not just the actual cost of the item. It's the time that takes you to get the item, or it takes to get the item, which is also factored down into cost, because time is money. If you have to hold the house for 6 to 8 months, whereas in the past you could redo it and have it ready to go in 2 to 3 months, that's opportunity cost lost on recouping your money on that property, moving on to the next one. And for example, something as common as a refrigerator that in years past, you could go find 1 million of them readily in stock at your local, home improvement center. Today, I've had to buy a refrigerator a couple of weeks ago for a property I purchased to put into the rental market, and that refrigerator, I found one that was available within 2 weeks of purchase date. Everything else was, this video is being produced in January, everything else was literally late February, March, even into April before I could get a refrigerator delivered.
Ridiculous.
So, windows have been taking 6 months. Glass. Wood, of course, everybody talks about the cost of wood.
The general consensus here is that, at the time, flipping is looking like it's just getting harder and harder based on...
The margins are getting smaller.
They are, based on the cost of everything, acquisition of the house, acquisition of materials, and just the time it takes to get everything. So
what's the alternative to that? It's not all doom and gloom. What I would tell you as an investor who in the past has maybe modeled your business on flipping houses, is it still possible? Sure. Just know your cycle is going to be longer. Maybe you can't flip as many every year because of the time it takes. But the other option to think about is to right now change your model from perhaps buying and turning the house quickly to buying and holding it. There is a rental shortage, plenty of people looking for rental properties, and there's not enough, just like with the housing market, with the sale market. So perhaps buy a house, fix it up, put a tenant in it for a few years until maybe material shortages and things like that get back to closer to normal. And you're still being able to ride that wave of increasing values of property.
That's it for this week's episode. If you liked the video, remember to hit that like button, comment if you have any questions, subscribe to our channel, and check out our cooking show, What's for Dinner Pensacola, where we make some awesome meals and pair it with some cool cocktails and wine. And remember to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.